This is a guide for Guided Project 1-1. Guided Project 1-1. You are Life's Animal Shelter, LAS. They maintain data in an Excel workbook that tracks daily expenses for categories that include supplies, animal food, and wages. We will create a new workbook for the current week, enter and format the data, and prepare the workbook for distribution. In your text, you will see that these are the skills being covered. So the first thing it's asking you to do is asking you to open a File tab, New, in a blank workbook. So when you go into your Excel, you have a File tab, New, in a blank workbook. This will bring up a blank workbook for you to work from. From here, it is saying you need to press Save As, or the Save button on the Quick Access toolbar, to save as a new document. For me, I'm going to put in my downloads, and we're going to save it as first name, last name, Excel 1-1, and then hit save. In cell A1, it's asking us to type Life's Animal Shelter with the spelling error. So, Life's Animal Shelter. In cell A2, which is right here, type September 1 through September 7. In cell A4, type Expends Categories. A3, we'll go down to A4, Expends Categories. Next, it's asking us to adjust column width. Point to the border between the columns A and B to display the two-pointed arrow. Double-click to auto-fit the column. Right there, we'll double-click, and then we will auto-fit the column. It's asking us then to enter labels and values as shown in Figure 1-80. So, pet nutrition. And so I've skipped ahead a little bit, and I've filled in the rest of the columns and rows. Now it's asking us to use the fill handle to fill a series of data. So it's saying to come to B4 and fill to B9. Alright, B8 to B9. So we'll go from B4, and we're going to click and drag, you see the plus sign, over to H4. So we copy fill in the days of the week. Now it's asking us to do B8, right here, to B9. Click and drag for both, and then we'll highlight and fill over. After this, you can see that we need to auto adjust the width here for Wednesday because it's not fully visible. And so we have just auto corrected the width for Wednesday. Double click to auto fit column views, which we've just done. Now it's asking us to merge and center labels. Select A1 to H1. It's asking us to merge and center. Select A2 to H2, and again, asking us to merge and center. From there, it's asking us to select B4 to H4, and it wants us to center that text. Next is step 7, choosing a workbook theme. Coming up to page layout, you can then choose a theme. This is asking you to choose the integral theme. You can then choose home. After this, it's asking you to go to step 8, applying cell styles. If you click A1 here, cell styles tab, it's asking you to select the title tab. A2, cell styles, and it's asking you to choose the heading 2 style. After this, it's asking you to do a multiple selection. Select A4 through A9, and then while holding the control key, B4 through H4 to make a larger selection. Come up to cell style, 40% accent 1. Now it's asking you to click bold, and then you're done almost with step 8. After this, if you come up to selecting cell A10, it's asking you to enter total, press enter. You'll notice that it applies the format from the previous column. Next is applying font attributes. We select A4 to H10. It's telling us to have that be size 12. Then selecting A5 or A2 to size 14. Selecting A5 through A9. Increase indent. Two times. And then selecting A10 and then pressing the right align button. Next we're going to go to step 10 using the sum function. We're going to select cell B10, auto sum. It's going to give us its best estimated guess. We will press enter and then we will fill across. Now it's auto summed all the columns into these total columns, these total rows here, row amounts. Now it's asking us to enter the accounting number format for cells B5 to H10. So we select B5 to H10, accounting number format. You'll notice that it added dollar signs to each. Now it's asking us to decrease the decimal to 0 decimal places. Next we'll be adjusting row heights. Click the row heading for row 4, as well as pressing Control and then for row 10. Adjusting row height to 25. And then we'll do it for 5 through 9. Right click, row height to 21. Step 13 is asking us to insert a row and change the column width. Selecting A9 here, right clicking on the 9, or an insert. It's going to insert a row above. We'll title this Cages and Equipment. You'll notice that the equipment does not fit. Manually adjusting this here, we can go to 22.5. We can then enter the amounts. 35, 35, 25, 0, 0, 35, and 40. You'll notice that the zeros automatically become dashes, and the sums have automatically been adjusted as well. Step 13 is asking you to adjust the borders. Selecting A4, H11, it's asking you to put a border with all borders around it. Afterwards, selecting A2, right, we can then press Control 1 to bring up the Format Cells tab. Remove this blue border here, or change it to black, text 1, thick border, and then we'll add the black border back in. Afterwards, we'll adjust our A1 cell to size 24. Step 16 is saying we need to double-click the Sheet 1 tab name, type in and enter in week 1. We can then adjust the format color of that. In the Format tab, Home, Cells Group, Format. And organize sheets, we can say Tab Color. And we'll be selecting our blue accent to darker 50% color. Afterwards, we can press Control Home to go back to our A1 cell, and we're going to do our spelling check. Spelling can be found in Review, Spelling. This first word, animal, is not shown, so what we can do is we say respell it and press Change. The second one, for September, is not in our again change, and expense is already there. We can change, as well as utilities. Spelling check is complete. Now we are going to change page setup options. Moving to the page layout tab, we can go to the page setup launcher, and we see the page setup here. Page, we're going to select landscape. We'll go to the margins tab. We're going to select horizontally on the page, centered. Header and footer tab. Header drop down box. We're going to choose My Name, Excel 1-1 to insert the file name in the center section. And press OK. Afterwards, we can press Ctrl F2 to preview the worksheet. Alright, since we do not want to print it just yet, we're going to press Escape to close that backstage view. Next, we're going to copy and edit the worksheet. Right-click the Week 1 tab name, and then we're going to select Move or Copy. Select Move to End. Create a copy, and then press OK. So now we have our new Week 1, 2. On the copied worksheet now, we're going to select cells B5 through H10 and delete the data. Double click cell A2 to start edit mode, and then we're going to change September 1 to 8 and 7 to 14. After that, we can double click the actual name itself, and we can adjust this to say Week 2. Afterwards, we can adjust the color, format, tab color to accent green for darker 50%. Going back to our Week 1 sheet tab, we can click the File tab, Print, to preview our Week 1 worksheet. Finally, the last thing we're going to do is adjust the freeze pane. It's going to ask us to go to cell B5, View, our window tab. Here we have Freeze Panes. We're going to freeze the pane at B5. It's then asking us to shift over until we see column F, immediately to the right of column A. After such, we can select cell A1, File, and then save our workbook. At this time, if you're completing one of the assignments of the week, you could submit it for the week's assignment. Alright, if you have any questions, please feel free to post to the discussion board or email me.